Hello, welcome, how are you today? Hello, welcome, I'm glad you came my way to smile and share and laugh and care and sing a song or two. Hello, welcome, I'm glad to be with you. Hello, how are you today? I'm so glad you're here with me. We have some more wonderful, wonderful things to talk about. Let's begin today by singing the song we started last week. It's called I Like Myself. Ready?
I like myself, I am a valuable person. I like myself, I am a valuable person. I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. I am a valuable person.
Nice. Today we're going to talk more about liking ourselves, but we're going to learn some very important things that will allow us to do that and do it correctly. Today we're talking about I choose the real gold. So when we talk about liking ourselves, that we are a valuable person, what does that mean? To be valuable means to be worth something to people, to be worth something to ourselves, to be able to exchange what we have with others sometimes, to be able to enjoy what we have. Well, throughout all history, people have been pursuing things that they felt was very, very valuable. In fact, look at this picture. Can you see, here we have a riverbed, and in the riverbed there are many people, mostly men, who are using special dishes. They are panning for gold. In 1849, so about 170 years ago, gold nuggets, was discovered in what is now called the state of California. So many people rushed to get there and find some of that gold for themselves because gold was very valuable. You could exchange it for food or horses or land or other things that was very important to people. So these people rushed to California to find some of this valuable gold for themselves. So the 49ers who participated in the gold rush are now remembered, and here's a picture showing what this looks like, or what it might have looked like in some of the places, some of the experiences. So we have the gold rush, people rushing to find that value of gold. And it was always somewhere outside of themselves, maybe in another person. Another person is valuable to help me feel more worthwhile, more important, more loved. Maybe a person, maybe gold, maybe land, maybe educational degrees, maybe money, maybe attention that other people give to them. All of these things throughout time have been valuable and looked for. Let's sing a new song. This song is called gold rules.
The 49ers set their hearts on gold, but they were not alone in their quest. Throughout all history, the plaguing mystery has been to find the most, the biggest, and the best. Is it the golden rule, or is it the rule of gold? When I look at you, what do I behold? Well, I found it. I truly found it. The gold that I've been seeking, I've discovered in my heart. Yes, I found it. Eureka! Look at this. The pot of gold was hiding in our hearts.
I brought something to show you today. Here I have a pot, and inside I have some coins. Can you see this? And this represents silver and gold, and these along with jewels, money, houses, relationships, beauty, so many things have been valued in our culture throughout time. Here is our pot of gold, and that represents the 49ers, which we just talked about a little bit. Well, look what I got in the mail. I got an advertisement. Someone wants me to participate and maybe find a pot of gold. You see, according to their desires to get my attention. If I scratch here and get the winning picture, I might find lots and lots of gold. I might be a winner. I don't participate in these things. However, I brought this to show you how this whole concept of finding this wealth, this value outside of ourselves has been what people have been searching for, just like we sang in our song. All right, so I mentioned earlier that liking ourselves, like we sang in our first song, I like myself, I am a valuable person. That has been on one side of humanity's searching, and the other side of people's looking, seeking, searching, has been looking for things outside themselves, like the gold or other things. And some cultures have actually recorded ancient writings where they talk about two angels sitting on either shoulder, one giving them ideas for this and the other giving them ideas for this. In the Native American culture, there's another story very similar, and a grandfather in this story is talking to his young grandson, and he tells him that within each of us there are two wolves, and the wolves are fighting each other. They're both hungry. And the young grandson asks his Native American grandfather, which wolf wins? And the grandfather says, the wolf that you feed wins. So today we are going to talk about the two types of gold that I've introduced to you during Grandma Kimberly's sharing time. One represents the golden rule, and the other represents the nuggets or the jewelry, the stones, or other things that we consider gold that have been of value that people have sought outside of themselves. So here again, this picture represents a ruler that's gold, the color gold, helping us to think about and reflect upon the golden rule. Do you remember what that is? That is the GPS system or the hidden map within each one of us that helps us to know how to live, how to make our choices, how to treat others, how to treat ourselves. The golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So now we have this golden rule that we've talked about, and we've talked about having two angels, one on each shoulder, giving us guidance, or the two wolves inside of us fighting for our attention, for our food. Which of them win? The one we feed, the one we listen to, the one we trust and obey. Which leads us now. Last lesson, lesson number 7, we talked about how the greatest law, even underneath and before this, before we can ever learn how to do this correctly, the foundation for this second commandment is the first, and that is know yourself. Last time when we shared, sometimes I said know yourself, which means understand who you are. But sometimes I didn't say know yourself is the rock or the foundation. Sometimes I said love yourself. Today I want to share that there is a little bit of difference. In order to know yourself, who am I? Not who other people tell me I am, or even my name, or even what I think I want, or what I think. But who am I really? Underneath that, and before we can know ourselves, we must love ourselves. We must care about ourselves. And as we care about ourselves, our feelings, our needs, our interests, as we love ourselves, then bit by bit by bit, we can be led and become stronger in hearing that voice inside that says, yes, yes. Oh, that's the one angel telling me, go on that path. Yes. My mind is at peace. My heart says yes. And I'm making my choices. What is the best for everyone? Everyone includes me. I'm part of everyone. So when I make my choices from that peaceful yes of that angel on my right shoulder, or that wolf inside that tells me, yes, make this choice, say this word, do this now. When I make my choices, I'm loving myself and I'm trusting myself. And I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I begin to really know who I am, who I truly, really, eternally am. Not what my body looks like, not what my experiences here have been in this body, on this planet, but eternally. Who am I really? I know that. And the more I know, the more I can love that self. The more I know and love and trust that self, the better I can treat you. for your eternal, long-term good. Now, I grew up with my primary language being English. And English makes it very difficult to grow up and learn how to really love yourself. Do you know why? Because in the English language, we say, I am tired, or I am hungry, or I am thirsty. We use those two words that we talked about in lesson 7, I am, to claim something that the body might need or might want, but not what our true self may need or want. In the Spanish language, for instance, they don't say, I am hungry. They say, tengo hambre. That means I have hunger. So I have hunger. Think about that. That's different than I am hungry. I'm not really hungry, am I? So much more accurate is the term, I have hunger. I have thirst. I have tiredness. Now think about that. Maybe during the next few days, as you are using your words, you can think before you speak. Do I really want to say I am something? Or is there a more accurate way that I can still be true to my body's interests or needs, if that's the highest good for who I really am deep inside? And bless you too. So maybe you can speak in the English language instead of I am hungry. Maybe you can say, I would enjoy something to eat, or this body is feeling a little weak, or I have hunger. You think about that. Crystal and I sometimes joke about this because even as careful as we have been with our language, sometimes we forget. Sometimes one of us, let's say it's me, I'll forget. And I'll say, oh, I'm tired. And Crystal might say something like, well, hello, tired. My name is Crystal. Glad to know you. One thing we like to say is, I feel tired or I feel hungry. But even that can be a little tricky because it's just the body that has that sense. And we've already been learning we can't trust what we see. We can't trust what we think or what we hear. We cannot trust our senses of our body. So a deeper feeling is that peaceful yes, or that peaceful which means no, or that peaceful and yet there's some confusion. That might mean not yet, or not quite the way you're thinking or you think you want. We will learn so much more about how to really listen so that we can really trust and hear louder and louder and louder and louder this angel, so we can feed this one. Remember the two wolves inside of us? Not really. There's not really two wolves inside of us. But there are two thought systems. And the one we listen to the most becomes stronger. We hear it more clearly. And we trust it. And with that love, really caring about ourselves. And trust, which grows from loving ourselves. then we can know ourselves. And only then, as we truly know who we are, what is right for us, only then can we correctly love each other and obey the golden rule. In the process, we might make a lot of mistakes. We might bump into each other, even when we're trying with all of our heart to do what's best. I want to show you something. When I was 12 years old, in my school, my language teacher had us start writing in a journal. So this is mine from when I was 12 years old in 7th grade. My teacher's name was Mrs. Marshall. Now, she didn't have us write every day. My first entry in this was from January 1st, 1975. In this, I wrote, my dad woke us up at about 8:30. We went into the kitchen and had a party with hats and horns left over from the adults' party last night. After the breakfast dishes were done, I made a delicious applesauce cake and decorated it real pretty. I had to make it for a party. And I went on to explain the other things that I did to prepare for the party, to prepare the home, to get it clean, to prepare my youngest brothers. And one thing that happened to me that morning as I'm rushing around trying to get everything done was my brother, my oldest of my younger brothers, looked at me and he said, Kimberly, can I help? Because he knew I had so much responsibility, so many things that I was doing and was trying to accomplish. Wasn't that sweet? He said, Kimberly, can I help? What can I do? And I remember, all these years later, I remember looking at him, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to take my own shower and get dressed and do my hair. And I need to do this and this and this. And I remember looking at Niall and saying, I wish you could go to the bathroom for me. Knowing that he knows how to do that for himself, but I had to do all these other things myself. I wanted to share that story with you because that was when I really began to keep a journal. In fact, it was shortly after that my parents gave me this book. They even engraved my name on it. And this became the first journal that I wrote in. Now, I have found that by writing as often as I can, at least once a day, if possible, what I'm experiencing, how I'm feeling about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, who I'm interacting with, and how I feel about that. As I record these important things, I can give myself time to reflect and learn about myself, where I made the right choices, listening to the angel that speaks for me and for all of us, or where I've fallen, where I have not been in balance one way or the other, and what can I learn from that? Now, one thing that I had to finally learn for myself was that most of my life, I was not quite in balance. I was teetering like I'm doing right now with this balance scale. I was loving and helping and assisting and guiding and teaching this person, this person, this person, all the people that I could in the best way I could in my life. But it wasn't until the year 2003 that I finally got in balance. I finally realized, wait, I am one of all of us. Most people don't have that situation. Most people, but not all, are the opposite. Most people make their choices. What do I want? What makes me the most money? What gives me the best attention, or the best friends, or the most credentials behind my name? What is best for what they think they are? They think they are their name, their body. But Grandma Kimberly's here to teach you. That's this wolf. That doesn't help you long term, and it doesn't help anyone else correctly too. Because again, only as we truly love and trust and know ourselves are we able to correctly get that guidance from this angel to know how to best help and talk with and interact with everyone else. Not just for this moment, this conversation, but in ways that will help them and us. Always, forever, eternally. Do you remember maybe 2 or 3 lessons ago, I shared with you how I like to live. And there is a phrase that I like to think sometimes. I don't even have to actually think that anymore. I just live that way. And that is, you be right, I be happy. When I'm interacting with a person and they have perspective that's different than mine, or they've come to a conclusion, or they make choices, or they think, or they believe, or they want something that I wouldn't choose that. In my heart of hearts, I'm speaking to them with respect. And I'm saying, you be right, I be happy. This is how I like to think of the 2 angels, or the 2 wolves. One wolf says, I want to be right. I choose the right. I know I am the most important. I know I need or want or deserve the most money, the most beauty, the biggest house, whatever. You be right, I be happy. And that is what we have been learning, is how to be happy by feeling and honoring and trusting, obeying that inner voice that speaks for peace, for harmony, for all of us together. Let's sing that song, I Am Happy. Would you sing with me? I am happy, I am happy, yes I am, yes I am. I am fun and cheerful, I am fun and cheerful. Joy, 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 joy. Now joy is happiness at such a wonderful high level, because it's not just about how I feel inside, which is so important. That's my happy. But it's sharing that level of happiness with others. Joy. joy, joy, joy. I'm going to read to you now a story. And in this story, there will be animals. And remember, animals can represent people. They can act like people, sometimes dress or talk like people. Here's our story for today. At the end of the rainbow, I had better put on my glasses because I have not healed my vision yet. At the end of the rainbow, A.H. Benjamin and John Bendel Brunello. Here we have a fox and a badger. There is our rainbow. Do you remember the song we sang? About red and orange and yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. All together, those colors make our rainbow. Well, the end of the rainbow. Let's read about that. Wow, gasped Badger and Fox. It's beautiful. A bright, clear rainbow hung in the sky like a jewel. Badger and Fox stood gazing at the bright colors. Then Badger said, "You know, there is treasure at the end of a rainbow." "What's treasure?" asked Fox. "I'm not sure," replied Badger, "but I think it's gold or silver or jewels, something that will make you rich forever and ever." "Let's go and find this treasure," cried Fox excitedly, and they were off, racing toward the nearby woods. As the two friends hurried along, all they could think of was treasure. What did it look like? Was it big or small? What color was it? Just then they noticed Squirrel sitting in front of a pile of acorns. "My treasure!" he was singing to himself. "My beautiful treasure!" Badger and Fox scampered up to Squirrel. "Go away," he ordered. "You're not stealing my treasure." "That's not treasure," said Fox. "That's just a pile of acorns." "It's treasure to me," replied Squirrel. "It's my food for the winter. What's more important than that?" "Well, we're going to find the real thing," said Badger. And the friends raced off. Soon Badger and Fox came to a small river. Among the tall grass, they spotted Mother Duck. "My little treasure," she was calling. "Where are you?" Badger and Fox were curious. "Are you looking for treasure?" they asked. "Yes, my own little treasure," replied Mother Duck. "Oh, look! There he is." A golden, fluffy duckling came pattering along. Mother Duck tucked him under her wing. "Don't disappear like that," she said gently. "You'll have me worried, my treasure." Badger and Fox looked puzzled. "Is that your treasure?" they said. "Of course," smiled Mother Duck proudly. "I love my baby more than anything in the world, so he is a treasure to me. Aren't you, my little one? Now let's go home." Badger and Fox rushed on, eager to find their treasure at the end of the rainbow. They clambered up a steep, bumpy hill and found Old Hare sitting at the top. "Hello there," he greeted. "Hello," called the friends. "We're on our way to find treasure." "Ah," nodded Old Hare. "I have lots of that." "Really, where?" they asked. Old Hare patted his head. "Here," he said. "My memories are my treasure. They make me happy." "What are memories?" asked Badger. "They're all that you remember from the past," said Old Hare. "Things you've done, places you've visited, friends you've loved. Your adventure today will become a memory you'll treasure one day. So enjoy yourselves, little ones." "Goodbye," called Badger and Fox, and they were off, sliding down the other side of the hill. Just then, thick, dark clouds filled the sky. The rainbow vanished. It started to rain harder and harder. Badger and Fox had to take shelter. "We'll never find our treasure now," said Badger miserably. As they waited for the rain to stop, the friends remembered Squirrel. How happy he was just to have enough food. And Mother Duck and her love for her baby. Old Hare was happy too because he had his memories. They all had their own kind of treasure. Maybe treasure wasn't gold and silver and jewels. It was what you loved, something very special, and something that made you happy. Fox looked at Badger, and Badger looked at Fox. "You're a treasure," said Badger, jumping up. "You're a treasure too," said Fox, skipping around. And they started laughing and dancing until they could dance no more. At last, the rain stopped and the sun came out again. The two friends happily made their way back home. Far, far behind them, a new rainbow had appeared in the sky, but neither Badger or Fox noticed. These two friends, Badger and Fox, they explored outside themselves looking for treasure, just like people have throughout all time, looked outside themselves. Another person would fill in that emptiness, or more money, more gold, more jewels, more attention, more love from other people. But like we are learning, the real treasure is found inside of our own hearts. And then we can give that treasure, that love, that knowing of ourselves to everyone else that we meet. Let's sing again our brand new song, Gold Rules.
The 49ers set their hearts on gold, but they were not alone in their quest. Throughout all history, the plaguing mystery has been to find the most, the biggest, and the best. Is it the golden rule, or is it the rule of gold? When I look at you, what do I behold? Well, I've found it. I've truly found it. The gold that I've been seeking, I've discovered in my heart. Yes, I've found it. Eureka, look at this. The pot of gold was hiding in our hearts.
The pot of gold doesn't look like this. And even though it is found at the rainbow's end, which means after all the different experiences, all the different colors that we've lived through, we realize, oh, at the end of that rainbow is the real treasure, that which is really valuable. And it's in our hearts, our love, our trust, our knowing of ourselves first, and then of each other. And that brings us joy because we feel happy. We feel that peaceful yes. And we can then treat others correctly and help each other to feel better and better and better. Another song that we have learned, and we've even learned how to play the recorder with that song, is the song composed, that means written, by the man we call Beethoven. But one important thing I haven't told you yet about Beethoven. Do you remember the Ode to Joy was part of his 9th symphony? And Beethoven conducted this song, this whole symphony, even though the ears of his body couldn't hear. At the end of that song, remember I told you this part, everyone was so moved by the beauty and the union, the joy that this song brought into their minds and into their hearts. They were so grateful to Beethoven for writing this song and composing it and sharing it with them. And they were throwing up their scarves and their hats and clapping, but he didn't hear it. And so one of the orchestra members came and turned him around so he could see. But what I didn't tell you was that when Beethoven looked out at the audience and how joyful they felt because of his gift to them and all the other members who played their instruments together, he talked with the audience and he told them, I didn't write this for you. I wrote this for a people who would come later. I would like you, whoever you are that is listening, I would like you to understand that when Beethoven heard this song in his own mind and in his own ear, and he wrote it down and made it playable, ready for all the instruments and the voices to sing, he was doing it for you and me and each and every one of us today. Because now is the day. Partly because the secret of how to truly treat each other, how to truly love ourselves so we can love each other. That's finally getting taught. And as we each practice it and get better and better and better about knowing ourselves so we can correctly love everyone else, we will find the joy that Beethoven's song and the poem that he composed this song for, the Ode to Joy. We will discover what this level of joy is really all about. Kind of like walking upstairs. Now that we have been introduced to that foundation of knowing ourselves, we can practice and listen and let that voice get deeper and stronger so we can trust it more and more and more. We will walk up those stairs to heaven, to that place of joy, joy, joy. We'll do it together. We might make mistakes from time to time, but we'll forgive each other because that's what joy is all about. We love each other. We realize they're doing the best they know, the best they can, just like we are. We're all learning this together. We're all reaching the top, which is filled with light and joy and sharing a world that at that time will be all beautiful, all recycled. No more garbage, no more anger, no more jealousy, no more sadness or loneliness. But we will all live together in peace, only acting from yes, yes, yes. Remember that true love is the foundation for the golden rule. True love for ourselves is the foundation. It's what everything else is built upon. Do you remember we talked about that in our last lesson? And we learned a song about that foundation being like a really strong rock. Would you sing that song with me? The wise man built his house upon the rock. Here we go.
The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, but the house on the rock stood still.
But
the foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand washed away.
that song is a fun song that helps us to remember, in order to build our house with joy, with peace, correctly, is by loving ourselves first. That's the foundation, the rock that we build our life, our house upon. And then It doesn't matter what storms, what rains, what winds, what floods. It doesn't matter what happens. We will be guided because we can hear and trust and know this voice inside to guide us so that we can act correctly. Let's sing that song. We will do it twice. So first we will sing it all together, and then if you have your recorder, play with me as I play the recorder and Crystal will sing. Ready?
My heart sings with joy this morning. I'm alive and choosing peace. I forgive me, I forgive you. Joy is found in this release.
Okay, here we go. I will play the note E first because that's the note we will begin on. Ready? And
my heart sings with joy this morning. I'm alive and choosing peace. I forgive me, I forgive you. Joy is found in this release.
thank you, Beethoven, for composing this song and making it available for us to learn and sing. And remember that joy is what it's all about. Heaven on earth, beginning in our hearts, and then extending to everyone else we meet and we interact with. I love you. And I wish you a beautiful day, a day that you practice walking up those stairs to that place of light and joy, heaven. I love you. Goodbye. Goodbye for now, but I know somehow we're never far apart. Goodbye for now, but I know somehow you're always in my heart. I carry you in my heart. I hold you